it's about to get crazy. Let's go, it's about to get crazy.
Yo, what's up everyone? Brandon Hart here, and today I am going to be showing you exactly my process and, in my opinion, the best snare plugin chain that you can possibly ask for. It consists of 6 different plugins, ranging from saturation, EQ, all the way to a final clipping plugin. The song that I'm going to be using today is a song that I mixed for an incredible artist by the name of Samuel Love, and the song is called Fires Behind, and it features my incredible friend Victor Borba on vocals. The drummer on this track is none other than Anoop Sastry. He's one of my all-time favorites. One thing that I do want to note is I do have another snare mixing video dropping tomorrow using only stock plugins, so be on the lookout for that. That said, let's go ahead and jump into this session. The first plugin that I used in this chain is the Oxford Enveloper from Sonox. If you haven't played around with enveloping your snares or any of your drum shells, your game is about to change drastically. I actually made a preset with this plugin called the Snare Shiner. I made sure the sensitivity was anywhere between 50 and 70%, and then the sustain is at -14 dB. And what I really like to do is putting this before a gate so that my gate doesn't have to work as hard. And with this, I have the hold at 5%, the attack is at 38%, and the release is at 30%. I also want to add that I did involve a touch of warmth at 20% within this plugin. One of the best gates out there right now is the silencer from Black Salt Audio. I pulled the threshold down to around -56.4 dB, setting the ratio at -20 dB, the D bleed at 42%, and the length at 810 milliseconds. And you already know that we're gonna be pulling in Pro Q4 from FabFilter. I introduced a 165 Hertz shelf by 4 dB while cutting 347 Hertz and 449 Hertz to get rid of some of the ringing frequencies. And with modern day snare drums, I've noticed that there is a lot of 1 to 2K subtracted from the overall tonality of a snare drum. And the reason I don't like that is those are the frequencies where that real snare sound comes from. So with the broad Q, I boosted 1200 Hertz by a couple dB. You can get some really cool results if you just play around with this one EQ. Another frequency that I would also encourage you to play around with is the 3 to 4K range. You can find that there's going to be a little bit of a brash, harsh frequency in there, especially if you're going to boost some high end with a shelf or a broad bell. So I cut 3.6K by around 2 dB, followed by 6.5K shelf by 6.8 dB. So with all 3 of those plugins engaged, let's move on to compression. My favorite compressor of all time is the DBX 160 from Universal Audio. The key here is to get around 9 to 10 decibels of reduction. It's really extreme, but it brings out the stick attack like none other. There's no other compressor that sounds like this in my opinion. Following this, I introduced an instance of the A800 Studer tape recorder from Universal Audio. There's a really awesome preset called Modern Rock that you can start off with. And the key here is to subdue the initial transient that was introduced through the previous compressor, and making sure the needle is hitting anywhere between -5 and -3. And the final stage being the Flatline 2 from Submission Audio. The key with this is to get anywhere between -3 and -4 dB of reduction with a semi-fast attack and release. Now hold up, we're not done yet. 2 parallel reverbs, one for width and one for length. You want to make sure that both of these reverbs are coming in around -10 to -14 dB quieter than the main snare. You want to complement the snare, not overpower it. So before hitting the reverb, I pull in the SPL Transient Designer Plus, pulling back the attack to get rid of the initial attack, but you're going to maintain the sustain of your snare drum. To introduce some length to my snare, I love the little plate for this purpose. Having it set at 1.2 seconds, pulling the low cut to around 200 to 240 Hertz, And for the snare width, introducing the Verb Suite Classics from Slate Digital. There's a setting in this plugin called the CLA AL2, and I changed it to be around 380 milliseconds. It's not bad, right? Now let's listen to both of these reverbs together. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys tomorrow.